Hey, have you ever wondered what makes Methodism so unique in the Christian world? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
sets it apart?
Yeah, I've been curious about that. What's the story
Right.
behind Methodism?
Well, it all started back in the 18th century with John Wesley and his brother Charles, who were
Oh,
trying
really?
to deepen their spiritual lives at Oxford.
Oh, so they were students when this began. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. They formed a group that studied and practiced their faith in a it's like a really methodical way, which is how they got the
Right.
nickname Methodists.
That's fascinating. So, what are the core beliefs that came out of this movement? Any key
Mhm.
doctrines?
One of the main things is the concept of grace. Methodists believe in prevenient grace. It's the idea that God's love is present before we even make any decisions, you know?
Exactly. Kind of like a foundational grace that's always there.
Yes, exactly. And then there's justifying grace, which brings forgiveness and new life, and
Right.
sanctifying grace that leads to spiritual growth.
So, it's a progression of grace at different stages. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Another key belief is in free will. Methodists teach that we have the capacity to accept or reject God's grace,
Mm-hmm.
emphasizing personal responsibility.
That's a bit different from traditions that focus on predestination, isn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. Methodism places a strong emphasis on free will, which sets it apart from some other denominations.
And what about reason? I heard Methodists value reason in their faith. Is that true?
Right. Yes, they do. They believe that logical thinking and personal experience are vital in understanding and applying religious teachings. So faith isn't just
Yeah,
about blind belief.
that's refreshing. So, how does this all play out in their worship practices? Any unique
Hmm.
elements?
Well, Methodist services are a mix of liturgy and spontaneity, often featuring hymns, many written by Charles Wesley himself,
No way.
prayers, sermons, and sacraments.
I didn't realize Charles Wesley was a hymn writer. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote thousands of hymns. His contributions really shaped Methodist worship.
That's impressive. So, there's also an emphasis on personal and social holiness, right? Could you explain that?
Exactly. Definitely. Methodists encourage personal piety and engagement in social justice issues, reflecting their faith through action in the community, you know?
Mm-hmm. So, they're active not just in the church, but in society as well. That's commendable.
Yes, exactly. They believe that faith should be lived out in all aspects of life,
Right.
not just within the walls of the church.
That's a powerful approach. But how does this make Methodism distinct from other denominations? Any particular
Hmm.
differences?
It's their structured yet adaptable approach. They combine a methodical pursuit of spiritual growth with an openness to personal experience and reason,
Yeah.
which allows them to adapt to different cultures worldwide.
But don't you think that adapting too much could dilute their core beliefs?
That's an interesting point. But Methodists would argue that their core beliefs in grace, free will, and reason remain constant, even as they
Right.
adapt their practices.
I see. So it's like they have a solid foundation but flexible walls. That's a great analogy.
Exactly. Exactly. That flexibility has helped Methodism thrive globally, reaching
Yeah,
millions.
that's fascinating. So in summary, Methodism offers a unique blend of tradition and reason, personal faith, and social action, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and its rich history continues to influence many around the world, which is really
Absolutely.
inspiring.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing all this. I feel like I understand Methodism much better now. It's been enlightening.
Glad to hear that. Yeah, same here. It's always great to delve into these topics and learn more
Mm-hmm.
about different traditions.
Absolutely. Maybe next time we can explore another branch of Christianity. Any
That
suggestions?
sounds good. Well, perhaps we could look into Lutheranism or perhaps the Quakers. Both have
Oh,
unique
interesting.
histories.
I'd love that. Let's plan on it and keep this
Yeah,
exploration going.
awesome. So until next time.
Until then.